Hey everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you guys. I missed y'all. My name's Corey Gums. I am the founder of the Black Podcasters Association and founder of Black Pod News, which is blkpodnews.com, which is a trade paper for the industry for Black creators and professionals in the podcast industry right here on Substack. So, if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe.
Well,
Do.
I guess I'll go next since Michelle is stalling. Uh, hey
Whatever.
everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you guys so much for being on it, man. You guys are on it, and we haven't been here in quite a minute, so it's good to be back. My name is Angela. I am the host of two newsletters. I am the host of Melanin MVP, which is um, a newsletter community for Black women sports fans and everyday athletes. I'm also the writer of Please Hustle Responsibly, which is a newsletter community for creators who want to learn, grow, and connect. So happy to be here with you guys tonight. Did not
Hey,
realize I was rocking my Riverside jersey. So sorry. Not an advertisement, not sponsored.
Mine is.
before I go, hi, Christabel, Brenda, and Julie. So, hi, welcome everybody. So, hi, my name is Michelle Jackson. I run a community here, hosted on Substack called Creators Getting Paid. I like to connect people with different monetization ideas. And how I do that is I interview all these amazing and cool creators who have developed and grown uh, online brands that are monetized. But I like people who are doing like interesting and unusual things. So a lot of these creators you're not going to see in a lot of the boring media out there. So I love to do that. I also run a personal finance brand that actually has been on hiatus for a while, but it is called Your American Money, and that will be coming back in the fall. And so keep an eye out on that. I do have a newsletter on Substack for it, but it will begin basically after Labor Day. So I'll be working on that. So I'm very excited. So I do want to bring one thing up. Corey is the one who hosts the actual, like, he pushes the live button because his internet and phone service is the most stable. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. So we we are all members of the Black Podcaster Association. We are co-hosting this from our different brands, but Corey got nominated because his internet and Wi-Fi and cell phone service literally is the most stable. And I just want to throw that out there.
It's the only reason. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But we got to
Anywho,
work on that.
um, whatever. So we are really thrilled to be back. I do want to say thank you to everyone who shared their condolences with me. It's been a hard summer, but I really appreciated that. It's been very helpful to me. But today we're going to talk about just the next 6, 7 months, like I'm saying July through January, like how we are planning for success, how we're thinking about the next 7 months, because I'm including January, and just the things that we're doing to prepare for it. Before we get into it, though, into the heart of the conversation, I do want to talk about events and places and spaces we want to show up and be seen or share our expertise. And I think it's interesting because there are all these events that are hosted in the United States. They're, some of the best events out there in the world. However, in 2026, for me, I am really preferring to go to events overseas. I feel like the energy has really shifted to those events. I feel like uh, there are some opportunities we were unaware of as American creators. And I think that these events overseas for us are really coming into the spotlight and have an opportunity to shine and educate us. For me, I'm looking at Cannes Lyon in France. And that is really how you're really supposed to say it because I used to live in France. I'm also looking at I forget the exact name of it. Angela, I think, knows the name of it. The podcast event in London,
The podcast
in
show.
the podcast show in London, in May, I think typically in May. There's an affiliate program. There's an affiliate event that I want to attend that is hosted in England as well in May. It's one day though, so it just never made sense to do that. Because why would I go to England for one day? I'm not doing that. But if I'm going to the podcast show, I would absolutely do the other event as well. So they're kind of back to back. Are there other events that you guys are thinking of, or am I crazy for looking over the pond, or what are you guys thinking?
You want to go first, Angela?
Yeah, I can jump in. I do want to
Angela, you're
say
muffled, by the way,
I don't know
your
what you
audio.
want me to do about that
Yeah,
right
you.
now.
No, no, I'm just
I'm,
letting you know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm also like just waking up. Like I slept during the day today because my sleep schedule split. So it could be that I'm not actually muffled and that this is just my like just waking
Your
up
sleepy
voice.
voice.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. This is a very intimate conversation. um, but yeah, so I do just want to say I've talked about Resonate Podcast Festival before, and tickets, I don't know how they did it, but they went on, like, I think they sold out, they said in less than an hour. Um, I was able to get a ticket. I know a lot of people that were not able to get a ticket. I don't know if it's like a mix of, at this point, like pre-sale, like if he's selling group tickets to people like ahead of time. Yes. Oh, Corey just gave away. Okay, cool. And then,
I don't know what you're talking about.
okay.
I only got them like 2 days before everybody else did, so I don't know what
Oh,
you're
only
talking
like
about.
2 days. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by that because, again, I think they only can sell like 400 or something. Like, it's not a
Yeah,
big business.
yeah. There's not a lot of
And
space.
so I did get tickets to go. I did have a friend that wants to potentially collaborate on a talk at Resonate. So I would love to. I'm intimidated to speak at Resonate. Let me just be clear. I feel like the level of audio storytelling and the level of audio storytellers that are there are just like incredible. So I feel very intimidated, but I think that's also why I should do it. Like I should challenge myself to rise to the occasion. Especially at an event. This will be my third year going. So clearly I'm invested. And I didn't even balk when I saw that the tickets were twice as much as they have been in the past 2 years. So here we are. But yeah, I'm excited about like yeah, like they were 150 this year and they were 75 in the last two, like babes. But it is what it is. I was just like, I don't have time to think about the price. I just need to click because I know these are gonna sell out. So I just like bought a ticket. Um, but yeah, excited about Resonate. I got a chance to go to Podcast Show London. I did not go. One, because I had a really big client project that I couldn't step away from. Two, because I was dragging my feet about getting my passport renewed. I did get my passport renewed. We'll be trying to go again next year. Um, I don't know if there's a value proposition yet for me to go to Cannes Lion, but I do feel like Can Leon, excuse me, French, has really done something with their like creator programming that has made it like the place to be for creators who want to connect with brands and be a part of the advertising conversation. So I will say that I don't know if that's where I necessarily feel like I need to be just yet. Um, but I do feel like it is a place to be if that's generally a big part of how you want to make money, and how you want to be known as a creator. Um, in terms of other events, I do want to try to go to the big podcast movement in San Diego next year. That'll be in August.
Ooh.
Um, I'm not going this year. I will be going, like I said, to Seattle and Vancouver during that time, because that sounds more fun. And the WNBA girlies sound, that's where I want to be. Um, which is not necessarily a creator event. That's a personal thing. That's a personal trip. Um, I can't really think of other events. I'm sure there are more. Um, I'll be going to Black Writers Weekend in Atlanta later this month.
I'll be out there that weekend.
You better be out there that weekend. Uh, so
Not
we
for
can
that
hang
though.
out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think the other part of me is like looking at film festivals. Like I'm taking this month to sit my behind down somewhere and like write. So I'm hoping to have some more things to submit to film festivals. So in terms of, that, those are probably the other ones I'm looking at. But that's all for right now. What about you, Corey?
So I'll be at Resonate, and it was what was interesting was the ticket they had given to Air sold out in like 20 seconds.
Whoa.
Literally, they went on sale in like 20. People were like they clicked the button and it was already sold out.
Yeah,
So I mean, they built something special there, and you belong. You I could see you on that stage. I could see you on that stage, Angela. So you should definitely do it.
I
Yes.
Um,
appreciate you, Corey.
um, I'm I always look at these events, these of like the conferences. I'm always very vocal about like whether it's worth it or not. At certain stages of what you're doing, and for me, it's like the money. If I was gonna go overseas, the money's better spent me trying to work on the stuff that I'm doing here, whether it's marketing, hiring help, or whatever. So I'm keeping it local. Now I have my event coming up on July 26th. So if you're watching, you're here in New York City, come out to our summer social.
Yeah,
Um,
It's the
That's gonna be on the
best.
26th. Yeah, Michelle was our keynote speaker last year. We're gonna have Dominic Lawson. I'm excited about that. He's coming into town. He is, as he wrote in his bio, a 30 plus award winner
yeah,
for his podcast
Woo!
Black in America, and he's won a Webby, he's won Emmys, he's got
Wow.
Signal Awards, Communicator Awards. So, and he's still putting it out there to be nominated. So, like for these shows again. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for him during this award season that's coming up. So he could keep being Thanos and just racking up, collecting them like they're gems, like they're stones. And then he could snap his finger. But I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna be in Atlanta the week after, which is also Black Writers Weekend. For Benji Boombox, which is this year it's more of a hybrid of a music festival and podcasts. I would
Mm.
say podcast festival, but there's like a podcast village. We're gonna have like silent headphones. We have 10 podcasts um that are gonna be playing their podcasts for people to listen to. I think Be Well Sis, with Cassandra Dunbar, Q Points. There was a couple other I saw. I just can't The Life of TK, which TK, she's also gonna be a panelist on a discussion out there. So that's gonna be in Atlanta on August 3rd. So we're sponsoring that with the BPA. So I'm excited to be out there for that.
Wow.
Um, there's Resonate. There's also Afros and Audio coming up in October in Baltimore. So that's probably going to be the extent of my events. Me putting this event together from in New York. As you guys probably know, I hate doing events. I don't know. I don't
You
know.
do a good job though, despite that. Okay. Like
Yeah, I
your
mean,
events
look,
are wonderful.
I have a high standard for myself, but I don't know how anybody could do this like day in and day out as a
Uh,
career. But so I'm kind of evented out. So
yeah.
after I do that, my event and then Benji Boombox, I'm gonna just put my headphones on and go silent on the event side of things for a little while. So, but that's really about it for me. Can't really talk about it, but I'm getting put on budgets for my event for next year, so I'm excited
Yes.
about that. So, that's gonna be our fifth year, so I'm kind of excited that we're getting that momentum. So, um, but yeah, I'll probably start looking at overseas stuff next year. Start considering that. I don't know anything about Cannes Lions, but okay. Is that also where the Cannes Film Festival is at, or are they just using that as
Yes.
a?
yeah,
No,
Okay,
that's where it is.
that's why everybody wants to go there. That's where the money's at.
No, but I mean, I was really here are a couple things I do want to bring up. One of the people that I saw who went was a person who specifically didn't purchase a ticket to go. And I'm like that girl, especially with a new thing. Like I want to test it out before I'm investing a whole bunch of money. And because I've lived overseas, like I would stay at a house or a hot, like there's things I would hack so that I'm not spending a lot of money, right?
Mhm.
And so one girl in particular, I can't believe how well she like leveraged her time there without a ticket. And if I can find that creator's like the videos and stuff. She moves like I do that. Like I just find my way
Well,
places. And so
well,
I
yeah,
love that. Yeah.
I could tell you honestly, from my experience of being at podcast movement last year, I had better conversations and did better networking at the surrounding events than the actual event itself. So one, there's always liquor and stuff involved. People are, having
Yeah.
a good time. Food is involved, so their guards are down and they're more, they seem to be more friendlier. But the times like when I was going like to Spotify's party and a couple other parties that we were either invited to or we crashed. Um, the conversations and the networking and stuff happened better there than it did at the actual venue. So I could see how she leveraged that. I know there's a couple people talking about doing some things around Resonate. And I might
Mhm.
be, I put a bug in a couple people there. Maybe we might be doing something, in regards to outside of Resonate, or I won't say outside of, but during that time period. So
Adjacent
yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Something
around.
adjacent with it. Yeah. So I'll keep y'all updated, but I might have to do my board duties while I'm out there too. So I don't know if how that's gonna work.
Quick
Um,
question. Did you apply to Dane Cardiel's thing that's gonna happen like a day before Resonate?
the what?
Oh, you had to apply for it? I thought it was invite only.
Yeah, so it's like he like has a form where you can like apply to express interest, basically.
Oh,
And
okay.
then based
I'll
on
reach out to
that,
him.
you'll get an invite. But yeah, he dropped it and comment on one of his posts on LinkedIn because I asked about it. And I just like applied. Um, so hopefully, like my first experience at Resonate was actually me interviewing Dane Cardio. And so I don't know, he feels like a home. So I'm hoping I get an invite. I don't know if that's going to
You'll
hurt my
get an
case or
invite.
not, but it sounds really
Don't
good.
let
It's
us.
kind of with Rich Roll's Voicing Change podcast network to put on this event. So I'm really excited for like what he's doing. He went full time into Good Tape.
Oh, he
So
did. Okay, good.
yeah, so I'm excited to see what he's been up to. Yeah, and going back to Can Leon, all the creators I saw were people that were like invited or sponsored by brands, and one of them was Brett Dashevsky, who also went full time this year. So I think there's kind of like as excuse my French, like fucked as things may seem economically, there's also a couple of like fairly well known creators who have said like, yeah, this is the year I'm going full time in my own thing, and they've been like thriving and getting some really incredible partnerships. So I'm excited. But also, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Michelle. These are like
No, no.
things that are into my mind. But like that first
Yeah.
week of August, are you going? It's something called like Creator Economy NYC Live. Are you going
I
to
heard
that?
about it. No, probably not.
No. Okay.
Yeah, but I missed it last year, but I'm probably not gonna go. I'm not a big I'm not a big, that kind of person. My
But it's in
autism
your
be kicking
backyard
in.
though. That's why I'm asking. Listen, I don't care.
Dang. Uh,
I'm sorry. Listen. I said listen. I ain't going.
all right. So I'm gonna say two things real quick, which or three. Um, I must say that remember I don't go to as many conferences as people think, and actually take a lot of breaks from them, like long breaks. So I haven't. I spoke at Podcast Movement Evolutions, but that was also in conjunction with seeing family. That's it for this year. That's all I've done. And I will be planning something outside of an event, a huge event here in Denver that's been rebranded to the name Colorado Startup Week. So like Casey Neistat's spoken at that, and Mark Cuban. Oh geez, the guy who started Fubu. I can't believe I just brain
Damon,
farted.
Damon,
Damon John.
please.
So it's a huge event. Whatever. And so my friend and I, Tangia Renee, we are looking to put something together that's like kind of outside of that. Um, I'm also hosting in-person meetups. So I started my first one a couple weeks ago, and it was wild to me because it's in Denver. and there are Black people in Denver, but all the people who showed up the first time were Black. And I was like, that's awesome. So that was my inaugural in-person event, very low key, very chill. But the interest actually is very like there's a lot of interest around it. And in general, I feel like there's a lot of interest to be connected in person, regardless of where you are. So if you're thinking, well, should I create something like this? Should I create a space? I would say if you're thinking about it, do it, but do it in the most like low effort way possible. So all I did was I was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna put I've been wanting to do this meetup because I used to be a part of a huge blogging community and meetup, and I miss that kind of connection. Would you be interested?" And all the Denver people were like, "Yes!" They got really excited. And then I was like, "Well, the first one's gonna be this day. We're gonna meet at Union Station here in Denver because that's where a lot of people like hang out, have cocktails. It's really nice." And then I was like, "We're gonna meet at the flagpole," and then people started making fun of me about that part. Whatever, we had a good time. So I didn't have to worry about food. I didn't have to worry about anything. And what I've decided to do is alternate how I host the event. So one will be just pure like hanging out about every other week, twice a month. The other one will be content. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that works, what that looks like. If you are coming through Denver, definitely reach out to me to ask, hey, are you going to be hosting something? Because we would obviously absolutely love to have you there. So I'm going to segue this to the next 7 months. What? What?
Before you
What?
jump in
What?
that, I did forget you
Yes.
triggered my brain. You know what's
Okay.
interesting is I've been asked by three different people to help organize some kind of conference or summit. So I guess people are looking at coming
Oh,
towards me in that direction. So I think that's the other reason why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be attending
yeah.
because I might have too much on my plate to attend anything. But we'll see how that works out. It's a lot of stuff is up in the air. But when you were talking about organizing your events, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I just actually got asked over the weekend. I was like, all right, we'll sit down and talk.
Mhm.
Let's see what we can how that looks and what that's about. And I've been asked to do it something maybe in Canada too. So we'll see what's up with that.
Ooh. You do something in
Yeah.
Toronto, I'm there.
Oh yeah,
Also
I'll keep you
saying,
updated.
I found out that the Atlanta to Toronto flight is only like 2 hours. I will be there. I will be there.
Okay,
Do it around Caravana, and then that's a whole vibe. Okay,
we'll see.
just
I'm
saying,
not making any
just saying.
promises. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Okay,
interrupt,
we're
but yeah,
just
let's.
just sending ideas. That's okay. No, that's exciting. So hi. I want us to kind of share how we're thinking about the next 7 months. If we've begun thinking about it, just things that have come to mind. Um, what's on our mind, any chatter that we've heard from other creators out there about how the year has gone so far. I would love to hear what you guys think. And I always like, go Angela, go Corey, but I'm going to actually start this time. And then because Angela will tease me. So I will say the first 6 months of the year have not been ideal for me. Um, it was just a lot. I think it was a lot dealing with like the atmosphere. I knew it was gonna be like not great, but it just was a lot. I had a fellowship that I did that was very much more intensive than I anticipated. I'm glad I did it, but it was just I think the timing for me personally, it would have probably have been better if I'd done it in the fall, to be honest. I think I would have eased into the year a little better. It is what it is. It's done. Um, I spoke at an event, as I mentioned, but I was not pleased with the timing of the session, especially because this was the second time I've been a speaker or on a panel placed at that same time. And so I won't ever pitch to speak for that event again. Especially, I will say, if I were to do so, um, if I, for any event, I don't care who it is, if they place me on the last day and it's a half day in particular, I will tell them I cannot do that. They'll need to move me.
Oh,
And
you
if
got.
they're like, no, and if they don't move me, that's fine. I won't speak. I'll do something else. I will facilitate a better stage for myself. And that actually I think was a really good lesson that I learned. I was like, we're if I'm coming out from Denver to freaking if I go to like California, it's just a couple hour flight, it's no big deal. But if when I'm going east, it becomes it's a lot of time and money and energy. It pissed me off. And so in general, I'm glad that I had that experience because I'm like, we're not doing that ever again. Um, Sadly, we had a death in the family. I'm not going to get into that or else I'll start to cry. So it just was a lot. Like it's just been a lot. However, there have been some really good things from this year. So you two saying yes to this idea, what it has just been a light. I have looked forward to this. I love what I've learned from you guys. I feel like it has done what I was hoping it would do. So for those of you who are new to me and new to what I'm kind of expressing, I had really wanted to do something like this because I felt like the Substack platform didn't have people who looked like us really really being seen on the platform, but I also felt like there was a huge opportunity regardless of whether or not it was people who look like us, just in terms of the life cycle of this new platform. And so for Corey and Angela to be open to this idea, I just appreciate that you said yes to this. It's been wonderful for me, I have to say. um, I love working on creators getting paid and growing this. And it's in some ways, of course, I'm not satisfied with certain things. Like, I feel like that's any creator building community and doing things and being of service. But today I was walking and I was like, holy shit, if I do nothing special between now and this time next year, I will be at 10,000 people. No matter what. No matter what I do, I will at least be at 10,000 people. Okay. If I sustain the same level of effort that I'm placing now. And I was like, that's huge because that becomes a very like even now it's starting to like the momentum is shifting. But it's hard because it's a hard time just in terms of like how the economy is and things like that and just making some adjustments. But I'm like, oh wow, this is like just it's slow and steady, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I was really kind of amazed about that, and recognizing that end result from now really I think is influencing how I'm thinking about the next 7 to 12 months, and we'll talk about that more. Um, I I also did some audits of like my brand and just, because I had a lot of quiet time. In between everything being hectic, there was a lot of quiet time. I wasn't going to things and really figuring out, oh, wait, I could have more products to offer. Oh, wait, what is it that people are asking over and over and over again? Oh, wait, what is it that people are expressing that I could assist them with, but I don't have like something set up for that? So, really kind of like thinking about those things has been an interesting process. Um, Again, influencing what's going to happen for the next 7 months. And I'll talk about that after you guys kind of share basically what I think that was like a reflection on the last, 6 months. So what about your reflections? And then we'll go into like what the next 7 months will look like, you know?
You want me to go, Angela? I'll go this
Yes,
time.
please. Thank you.
Angela's still waking up.
Right.
uh,
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my situation is similar to yours, right? Like the past year has been kicking my ass, but
Yeah.
for every like one or two things that I'm like what else can go wrong? There's also been a lot
Yeah.
of like like great things that have happened. So um, I guess I just had this mentality of like like I'm exhausted, I'm losing my mind, but I'm like going to happen this week, right? Just having that attitude, like, okay,
Yeah.
because there's been things that just like come out of nowhere, like what happened today, like being able to have a conversation with a potential sponsor and realize that it's going to maybe possibly turn into something bigger,
Mhm.
and it was like for me it wasn't expected because that was not my intention. It was more of just like a thank you for supporting us and like just having a conversation and catching up. But for me, the past 6 months, it seems like this has been something that's going around for a lot of people in the podcasting space. And I know, like, when we hear news of like, I can't think of the company right now, Angela. You might remember that just shut their doors recently. Um,
Oh,
a big,
yeah.
huh? Which
Pineapple
one?
Studios.
Yeah, Pineapple Studios. Like that sent ripples across in the industry, and I'm not a doomsday person, but some of the attitude and some of the initial response was kind of like here, like kind of like last year when they were like doing all the layoffs and stuff. So it's kind of hearing that people talking about that stuff in the industry and just saying, okay, well, for me, one, how can I support since we're independent of everybody. So how can we support those people who are affected by it? And then me being on, the board of air, it's also also a conversation that happens where we're like, okay, these things are happening. How we as an organization support our members and during these times that seem to be with public radio being attacked. So it's kind of like I'm like watching what's going on, and I'm like, like it's not looking good over here, which could have a ripple effect over there. But
Yeah.
but it's also looking good over here, which can hopefully have a ripple effect over there. So it's kind of this weird space that I keep like getting caught in the middle of. Me personally, I brought in a business developer, I guess. I haven't given her official title yet. Um, but for me, the next 6 months is more of uh delegating and bringing and taking some of this responsibility off my shoulders because everybody knows I try to do any and everything, and it's starting to wear me down, and and honestly in that capacity I'm slowing things down too. So you're going to start seeing probably in the next 6 months of the education side of BPA stepping up because I have somebody that's going to help me start doing those things. And the funny part is, you would think I would do it here in New York. We've been talking about starting outside New York and working our way back towards New York because
Mhm.
I find, having a community of people from all across the country and the world, I'm finding that the need for those kind of things are greater outside of media markets like New York, LA, and those big spaces, like where you're at in Denver. Angela, are you in Atlanta or are you still in North Carolina? You're still in North Carolina, right?
So I'm physically in Alabama. I came home for Slot Tech that was in Birmingham, which I forgot to mention, but we ain't gonna
Oh,
talk about
okay.
it. And then, but I'm normally in North
But
Carolina,
wherever you at, it'll like those are the areas I
in
want to
the
start really
South.
concentrating on. Yeah, because there's people who are hungry. There are people who are needy. I shouldn't say needy. There are people who are hungry. There's people that need help. There's people that are really looking for this information. And a lot of times the conversation is like, "Oh, you guys have everything in New York, right?" Well,
Mhm.
yeah, of course we're New York, um, but also the strategy is going to be trying to branch out to other places. So that's what's going to be in the works over the next couple of months. Um, and then I have the business developer. She's basically auditing everything I do. So we already know it's going to be a hot mess. And then trying to figure out how we can come up with solutions to really reach the goals that I want to do. But I think the biggest thing for me over the next couple of months is like learning to delegate some of these responsibilities, so that I can really concentrate on the things that I really need to concentrate on, which is running the company. So that's where I'm at.
Mhm.
I love it. I
How about
love
you,
it.
Angela?
I just want to shout out Coach Ty Creates. She's been like super active in the chat. She says we need to
Coach
meet up
Ty.
and get paid peeps. So that I guess that's you guys, but I might crash the party if I can. And she says in the
Yes.
South Florida. And I just want to say, babes, I'm in the deep South. I'm in the deep South. Okay. So I always have been. So the first 6 months of the year, I took actually a page out of Michelle's book and wrote like an ugly, a bad, a good kind of post about that. Um, the ugly parts, I I'm hoping are that were just canceled out in the grand scheme of things. Like some of the ugly parts are like the fact that I can't say where I'm at. Like one day I'm in Durham, one day I'm in Alabama, and like that's an 8 hour drive between those two places. And I've been making that drive a lot more because I'm trying to be home for family. Like I'm home for the 4th of July. I haven't been home for the 4th of July in like 6 years. So trying to make a bigger effort to spend time with my family, which has been really hard, but really rewarding. Because like Michelle said, you know, people, they be up out of here sometimes. And it's people that ain't got no business being dead. And it's just like, why are we doing this? Like, so, you know, I'm trying to give my flowers while people are living, you know? And I had my filmmaking partner, he got cancer again. He just did his last round of chemo, last week. So we're really happy about that. But that was really hard, like seeing him go through that and like being with his family through that. Um, but there have also been some really incredible things, like the time I've been able to spend in community with people has been incredible. I feel really good from a writer's perspective, which is to me necessary as someone who writes like a maniac. I need to feel good about the things that I'm putting out in the world, and I do feel that I'm there. Sans the Sloss Tech recap article because that could have used like 2 more rounds of edits before I sent it, but we're not going to go there. Um, so sorry to anybody who read that. Y'all are troopers. Um, but yeah, like I feel decently good about the progress that we've made. I haven't sat down and like looked at the numbers. I am like a numbers person, like, and I know numbers are not everything. I don't know how we optimize for numbers, but in my mind, like it makes sense. I think the next half of the year is really going to be a time for creative experimentation and really looking at like new forms of media for me in the business. Um, so you're going to continue to see some short form video. You're going to continue to see my lovely face on LinkedIn and Threads. You're going to continue to see us doing live streams. I've also echoed Michelle's statement that like I didn't think this was something that I would like to do as much as we do it, but like this has been really fun. And I think regardless of numbers, like this has been something that is 1,000% worth the time to be here to talk to you guys. You guys being Corey and Michelle, but also like you guys in the chat, like y'all are also incredible people and like appreciate you guys being here. But I'm writing like July, I'm sitting my behind down. I'm not going anywhere. I'm finishing writing my first digital product with this Community OS. As usual, I have a lot more plans than I thought I had for it. Like at first it was gonna just be kind of like a digital book slash like guide that's pretty extensive. But now I'm like, okay, what if I made this into like a full blown kind of like web app experience? How could I put this in a position to be expansive? Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but like part of me wants to create kind of like an AR, VR experience for it that I can build upon with new products that are going to connect to Community OS. Um, so thinking about that, like how can we do the difficult things that are going to be really rewarding for me as a creator who likes to experiment with new forms of media, but also for the user experience? Like, how can I give people an educational but entertaining experience that they can't get anywhere else? So that's exciting. I'm writing some narrative projects. I'm sitting down to finish some narrative projects. So hoping to film those this fall. So just a lot more of like less of the, oh, I put out a podcast. Oh, I did a newsletter. Anybody can do that. And by anybody, I mean the people who can stick with it long enough to go through the rough patches. So not only are we making it difficult to replicate the cadence of which I put out stuff, but also the types of media that I put out. So that's what I'm excited about in this coming second half of the year. Just really using playfulness like Play-Doh and really stretching the bounds of what I can create and have created in the past. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's going to involve a lot more people, which I'm also excited about. It's going to involve me stepping away from probably doing a lot of freelance work, which is always scary, but I think it's necessary to be one of one. So that's what we're on, baby. That's what we're on. Let's go. Excited.
I'm excited about all these creative projects. Like, we dear watchers, viewers, we've seen one of these projects, or I think a couple of these behind the scenes, and they're freaking cool. So definitely keep an eye out for that. They're really cool. The tool that you're using to develop them, and that specifically, like, also kind of blew my mind. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. So yeah, you guys watch out for that. I Before I talk about what I'm doing, I want to give some like perspective about the next 7 months. So right now we're about to hit Christmas in July because it's our July 4th already happened. This weekend's going to be, if you're a Francophile, the whole July 14th Bastille Day. But then you have Christmas in July. You have back to school. You have kind of like a low key back to work adjacent situation, Labor Day, pumpkin spice people get excited. They got their whole thing going on, and like fall seasonal drinks, that whole vibe.
Yeah, they
You've
they they
got
keep starting early and early every year.
hey, you've got Halloween. I do plan on being at T-Pain's concert at Red Rocks this year. Finally, he keeps coming back, so he's enjoying it. I must go. You've got the beginning. No, here we have also de los Muertos, which is actually huge here. Day of the Dead. Then we have the ramp up for the holiday season. So there's Black Friday, there's Cyber Monday, there's uh actual like December, beginning of December. So I feel like people are like, do stuff. And then there's freaking Christmas. For those of you who do Boxing Day, because Americans still don't know what the hell that is, there's Boxing Day. Then we have New Year's Eve. Then there's January, New Year's Day. Like there's a lot coming up. And I bring this up to say, if the first half of 2025 did not go the way that you were hoping it would, there's so much energy coming up, like so much momentum moving forward, even when the economy is pooey. Remember that the economy isn't pooey for everybody, right? Like everyone's experiencing it how they experience it. So don't assume that everyone in your audience is doing well or not doing well. Just like design products with the different types of people who are in your audience in mind. So with that kind of like pep talk and lecture, I'm going to share kind of what I'm doing for the next 7 months. So I think the big thing is sitting down immediately, like tomorrow, and really thinking about how my content will support any kind of products that I'm hoping to sell for the rest of the year. And like really being thoughtful around positioning those things and talking about those things so that they don't catch people off guard. So I talk about the pricing so that people can prepare financially. If it's a ticket thing that I do, typically my high ticket products are with organizations. Maybe they still need to like look at their budget. Maybe they need to know that I actually provide whatever service that is. But like really being thoughtful about, okay, here's my podcast content. Here's my guesting on other people's platforms. This, just like really having a system in place. I feel like it's still a little loose on my end, partly because I have not been doing a lot of marketing on my end, which is wild to me. So I'm really stepping up marketing for the rest of the year. I really would like to be on people's podcasts. I really am going to be designing my own content, but I'm really trying to get in front of other people's audiences. Um, I'm thinking about the types of products that I can design that are on demand, but also like accessible for most of my audience. Because I do care about the economy. I don't want it to be a hard sell. I don't want my things to be a hard sell for most people. So there is one high ticket thing that I'm wanting to offer. But I think for the amount of time and what is available, it makes sense. But that wouldn't be positioned for everyone in my audience. And that is totally fine. It's for like up to 25 people. That's it. If even that. So just thinking about, okay, here are the products that I have across my brands, because I'm multi-passionate. I have more than one thing that I do. What is the easiest for me to do for these things? Where's the energy? Where's the momentum behind it? What converts the fastest? So anything that doesn't convert fast, I'm not doing it this year. Because that's just a lot of energy that I don't necessarily have. So that's something that I'm looking at, and just really using my time well. So I don't, there's something like, there's a law, I think it's called Pareto's law. Is that it? Where you
The
use the
80/20.
time that you, yeah, well, no, it's not that one. It's
Oh,
the one where you like use the amount of time you allot to a thing. So like if you give yourself 40 hours to do a thing, you'll use 40 hours. I don't want to do that. I'm actually going to try to tighten up the amount of time I allocate towards my business so that I'm a lot more efficient with my time. I think that one of the issues I have is I have too much freedom um, within how I'm moving and flowing. And so I think I'm just a little too relaxed. So when I used to work full time, I had no time. So I was like, just always like, when I was doing work stuff, I was so present. And I think that I need to tighten up the amount of time that I have available for business development, and really like when I'm working on those things, I'm focused and getting it done. And then I think the last thing is just making sure that I'm allocating actually more time to self-care. Last week was last week or the week before? The week before, I was up in the mountains for a few days. It was glorious. I love going in the mountains. Typically, I'll go overnight for a couple of nights or up to a week. And it is very obvious to me. It was at the beginning of the year that I was going to have to allocate more time and energy to self-care, and I'm actually going to have to allocate more time and money than I originally did, because I'm just needing more, like, okay, I'm feeling some kind of way, I need to step away. And so that's been something that I've had to like come to terms with as well. So that is the rest of the year. I do want to say I'm very seriously planning to do not a conference, like an online summit for January, for a specific topic. And I want to say thank you to Paulette Orado, because she, first of all, she coached me on this, but she does Latinas in podcasting. And so she's going into her second year of hosting that, and kind of watching what she was doing, what she is doing, and learning from her. I'm like, this is a good time to do that. It would be a list building exercise though. So it would not be for, to paid or what have you, but it to like grow my list. So that's the next 7 months. It's a lot of work for the next 7 months. So
yeah. I was thinking about doing my own online summit, but that's in the 12-month mark. That's under 7 months, 6 months.
mhm.
That's probably
You're
that's
like,
probably
Michelle.
around this time next year. So yeah, I got that. I'm actually gonna reach out to Paulette to ask her to talk about how she does it, because I don't know how to do those things. So somebody who
I
doesn't
might
like
have to
events, I'm trying to
schedule
put on big events.
I might schedule another time with her, because I was like, when we spoke, a lot was going on. So I feel like I might have to do it one more time. But um
Mhm.
she was really great to speak with. So yeah.
I know.
That's
I'm
good.
hearing both you guys talk about putting on your own events and like local events, reaching out of New York City, as Corey's talking about. I have had people talk to me about doing events, and I'm low key like, for real, I ain't got time for this. Like y'all gonna have to catch me some other time. Um, I think it would be great. I think my community would really like go up for it, especially in like different parts of North Carolina, and potentially in the South as well. Like in Alabama, I think we could do one easily, and then maybe in like Atlanta area. But it's just like there's I appreciate whoever put hearts in the chat, but I don't think I got it
It's a
me
lot.
to do right
I
now.
I mean, it's a lot. Like,
It's a lot.
here's the thing. the type of event that I'm doing is not like when I did my Money on the Mountain event where I had to raise $10,000 just to make sure I was in the black. Like I'm doing hey, we're going to meet at the park and like talk, and people do like here that is totally like people love that stuff. They're easy. And so I'm like the lowest hanging fruit is we're going to go to a coffee shop and buy coffees because now we can do coffees or mocktails or cocktails because now the coffee shop does that. And I'm just providing like I'll moderate conversation. That's it. I don't have the capacity to do anything beyond that. Now
I
for the
think
online summit, that's a different conversation. Like if I start now, I have the time to facilitate a lot of things before like the end of October so that it's ready to go. But no way would I do anything where it was like a more formalized experience. I don't have it in me.
Yeah.
I know this might be a little off topic, but you mentioned the coffee shop thing, right? And I think
Hmm.
it's something I've been thinking about for a while now. It's like the anti event, right? Like
Hmm.
we've grown accustomed. Well, I can't speak for all industries, but here on the podcast, we've grown so accustomed to these like podcast movement type events, and then even
Hmm.
like the in person events, like networking events, people try to do a certain way, and that's kind of like why we started the summer social in the first place, was because it was like everybody's meeting at the bar, everybody's just standing around talking. And I was like, well, let's have a fun component, let's have an education component, let's have a DJ, let's
Hmm.
have let's have
Karaoke.
let's have karaoke. This year's ping pong, right? Maybe next year's a bowling party. I don't know, like like
Hmm.
just something that's gonna like make it a little bit more, make it more fun. But I think the idea you have, like going to the coffee shop and just, I think it makes it more intimate, which makes people appreciate those things more. Like you go to these big events, or you go to these like these big, hotel rooms, hotel conference rooms to have a conference or conversation, and people just get lost in the sauce with it, right? They just shut for some reason. They
Hmm.
just shut down. I know I do. Believe it or not, everybody calls me the mayor when they see me work in the room, but um, a lot of times I think like those little, I find that those little intimate settings, even here in New York, like if you can find a good bar that's really intimate and you can meet with 10, 20 people, I think you have a bigger impact there than you have a room full of 100 people. So I think when people are trying to figure out what kind of event they may want to do around what they're doing, sometimes you got to, think about the intimacy part. And I
Well, I
think,
mean, sorry, I apologize. Go for it.
no, that's all I want to say is like, I think people are looking for that sometimes. Like, I think that's what makes Resonate such a hot ticket, because it's not the typical form of the conference, right? It's a smaller setting. It's not a whole lot of people. And, you're in Richmond, not no diss on Richmond, Virginia, but it's kind of, it has that town, that, I don't know, like that rustic feel, I guess, especially in the area where it's happening. I don't know. Um, I don't know how to
Richmond is
describe
like
it.
my second favorite
It's
city
more
in the
like the
South,
village.
so I am
It's
taking
like the
offense.
village for me, right? It's like being in the village for me, like that kind of vibe. Like, like
I'm
you have the
like, it's a
bars and
regular sized
restaurants.
city.
Thank you,
Um,
Michelle.
it's about
Jesus.
the size of Queens, but
It's like bigger than Denver, probably.
It's a pretty decent sized city, y'all. Don't let Corey, he don't know who he's talking about for real.
Wait,
Let him
now I'm
live
gonna
I got
find
it.
out.
family.
Wait a
I
minute.
got family in Richmond, and I've been out there, right? It's like my neighborhood. The population's about the size of my neighborhood, but
Why are you like this? Why are you like this right now?
we're the Empire State. But I just think, sometimes I think like, and it could be maybe it could be New York, the way New York is. The intimate. I always see the people who do like those intimate settings. They always win.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they always win with their events. And then of course, then they grow out and then they become exactly what the opposite of what they were trying to do. But that's
Yeah.
the money talking.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
think,
share some of my. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angela. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think I'd mentioned this previously, like the type of event we were looking at was like a semi-structured event, almost like a So Far Sounds, but like for audio or podcast. So it was gonna be on the smaller side intentionally because my introvert energy can only extend so long, especially if I'm hosting. So we were gonna go smaller, but even that to me feels like a big lift to curate and to put together. And So it's just like events that's feeling like a 2026 thing at best. Like I just can't even think about that right now. So
Mhm. I'm gonna share some of my favorite. So I'm gonna share events that are typical in my city and region, and now you'll understand like that it's always been this way, and you'll understand why I think the way that I do. So people will go like these are business events. They'll go snowboarding, they'll go golfing, of course. They'll go for, of course, the typical like coffee shops. They'll go tubing. They're down a river. People will go to yoga, so you'll do yoga and like cocktails. So anything physical here, they're very excited about. There's a place called actually that I'm very excited about called Epic Sky Trek, which is like an adult jungle gym, but massive. It's like 300 feet tall, and like you have to be strapped in. That's an event I cannot wait to do. I am so excited about that. So what you do is basically, oh, I know there was an event on our light rail where the library had us do a silent reading event. So they gave us all these cute little care packages, and then we sat on the light rail and read. And the wildest thing about that event was because we went all the way down the line, right? The people who were getting on, like trying to go wherever they were going, they saw everyone was reading and they just sat quietly. It's like they would be with
Wouldn't
people
work
and
where
they
I'm
wouldn't
at.
talk so that we could have our quiet space. Paintball. So I'm just used to like you
Hmm.
can really think outside the box and do stuff and just have fun. Partly because doing this type of content creation business is very solo focused and based. Um, and it's and people want to see other people. People need to talk to other people, especially with all the kerfuffle, all the stuff going on. And so there are a lot of these events happening in Denver right now. There are these girls. I saw it for Sunday. They are hosting an event that is yoga, a couple other things. They're charging $100 though. I'm not doing because if I'm charging, that becomes more complicated for in person. I don't want to do all that. Like I'll charge probably
Right, because
for
there's a level
certain
of
ones up.
expectation.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be doing all that. Like so it
Yeah.
depends on the event, but in the beginning, I just want to show up and meet people and have them like when we're in town because it's not a big town, be like, "Hey, Michelle," and be like, "Hey," and then organically they're like, "Oh, I heard about such and such. Thought of you, thought you would be a good person for this." Oh, I'm gonna go, camp. Oh, camping would be another one too, by the way. But so anything that's cliched that you're thinking about Denver and Colorado, those are the kinds of meetups. The best meetup I've ever gone to as an attendee at a conference was San Diego FinCon, where we went surfing. And the coolest thing about that was, first of all, I think we had 4 instructors, and 2 of them were from Africa, and that was so freaking awesome to me because I don't know that I imagined that in San Diego that would happen, like maybe somewhere else. And then it was myself and Letitia Stiles and I think one other Black attendee. There were 20 of us, and it was just the coolest experience of all the events I've ever done. That was the number one experience. So if you guys live in a place where you have something unique or fun or whatever, and you're like, let's do it, get your waivers, make sure the place has the waivers. You don't want liability or anything, but have fun. I just gotta throw that out there.
I just,
Not
I
legal
just glean,
advice.
I just glean from this that people in Denver are high off the thin air and they are adrenaline junkies. That's basically,
okay.
Or
and they
concerts.
like
We'll go
meeting
to
and they like doing it
concerts.
together, and they like doing it together. They come up with
I
any reason to
mean,
do some adrenaline rush.
it feels like a normal day. Biking, going on a bike
See,
ride.
see.
That's not adrenaline. That's just a regular
Oh, that's
day.
yeah,
Oh my
that's
god.
adrenaline. As soon as you start exercising, adrenaline starts going. But all
It's
right,
not, it just
dopamines and all that
okay.
stuff.
Fine, whatever.
I don't
and
think that would
and
work here. We get enough rush off of just getting on the subway, so and taking a bus.
whatever. um I love taking the bus in New York, actually. I met some interesting people. I love New York. Like if I were a rich person, I would live there for a minute and then I have to move because it's a lot. Um
Oh, they just did
I
a whole bunch of bus changes, so I don't know if you're gonna like that.
I do have questions though, actually. Um for the audience, which is what was this helpful for you if you haven't been thinking about this yet? Because we're curious. We want to make sure we're talking about stuff that you're curious about. By the way, thank you to the 66 people who
Yeah.
joined in.
And
Especially given that
riding
we
it
had,
out.
yeah, I mean, we appreciate you so much. We do, of course, want you to um become a part of whichever project that you feel is a good fit for where you are now. Wizpill, I haven't seen you forever since I quit the Twitters. um, we definitely want feedback. So if there are questions that you think we could have, if there was a topic that you think we could have talked about, that kind of thing, please do let us know. And candidly, we're going to talk about the things we sell, right? Like that makes sense. So I'm telling you now, as time goes on, with no hard sells, but we're going to let you know. Um, other than that, the next, I'm so glad you came at kind of at the end, but we're going to we do these. The next time we're going to be talking actually pop culture conversations. So I'm very excited about that one. So that's gonna be more low key, not content, whatever. Just that's more like fun. So if you want to, if this is where we would talk about Ironheart or the conversation around Essence Fest or Sinners or whatever. So be prepared for that on July. What is it? July 22nd, which
22nd.
is my birthday week. So Leo life, we celebrate for a month. So just be aware of that. So from July 1st, my
Okay.
birth date, until August. So I'm preparing you. I get to go to a free tequila tasting, actually. Someone invited me randomly out of the blue here in Denver. And I was like, well, okay then. I was supposed to go.
Yeah. Nice.
Is there Thank you. Oh, Manny, I still need to reach out to you. You're on my list. Thank you, Liz. Is there anything that you would like us to talk about in the future? Please let us know as well. Other than that, shall we do our outros?
Well, shout out to Manny. Manny's going to be one of the panelists at that event in Atlanta that I was talking about as well. So shout out to Manny
Go,
being on
Oh,
there.
Manny.
And check out his book too. Manny, I'm sorry, I don't. My brain is farting right now. I can't remember the name of the book. But go follow Manny, and you can learn more about his book. Oh, Hip Hop Can Save America. Make sure you check
nice.
that out as well.
I need to read that. Yeah.
Yeah, check out what he's
Um,
doing over there. I think what he's doing is amazing. So I
nice.
guess since
So,
I interrupted you, I'll do my outro, right? Since I
all
still
right.
have the floor. And we're gonna be doing pop culture. So is it? Am I gonna have homework? Because I'm like me and
No, I
my
mean,
uh,
you would have seen Superman. I feel like there are things that
I'm
you
probably
would
gonna see
have.
Superman
I
like
mean,
at
it's
least
pop
4 times
culture.
this weekend.
Jesus, man. I'll have finally seen Sinners because I'm in the right headspace to see it finally now. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Oh, you haven't seen it in the
So
movies.
Yeah.
I'm slow. That's fast for me, actually. Usually I would wait a year, but that's really fast for me. So I'm looking forward to it. And I want to see it before people like ruin the movie for me. So
They haven't
They
ruined
haven't
it yet.
ruined it. Like,
no,
I
I
mean,
I have been
in your bubble because they haven't ruined it for you. Ruined it like 2 days after it came out.
no,
Yeah.
I was like, and any think pieces I avoid. So yeah, I've been lucky.
Uh,
Uh
that should be another topic. How to avoid all that stuff because I couldn't avoid it.
It helps be in Denver, but we won't talk about that, okay? Like that's not this conversation.
Lord
So I
have
guess I got to
mercy.
catch up on some Ironheart because I haven't started watching that
uh,
one yet.
Where's
Ironheart's
Ironheart?
amazing. I just started it on Friday. So good.
Where do you watch it? Is it on Disney Plus?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't have Disney Plus, so we're gonna have to figure that out. Um, but
Okay, we'll
I want
figure
to
it
watch
out.
it
We'll
though.
figure it out.
We'll figure it out
Okay.
though. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Um okay, outros.
All right,
Oh my
so
goodness. Actually, more people are coming. Oh my golly.
I think,
Okay, now
yeah, I
it's
think.
71 people. Excited.
Okay.
Sorry, I got
Well, for those who's
excited.
joining
Sorry.
us, we do this. We do this. Well, we do this. We're going to be doing it on Tuesdays now, right?
Yes.
Is that confirmed?
I like it better on Tuesday, I'm gonna be honest. What do you think,
Me
Angela?
me too.
Sounds like Tuesday's okay. So
Damn. Okay. I do like Tuesday. Okay, Corey, outro.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. My name's Corey Gums. I'm the founder of the Black Podcasters Association. I also run a newsletter here on Substack called blackpodnews.com, which is the only in the podcast industry trade paper dedicated to Black podcast creators and professionals in the space. So make sure you subscribe and check us out on there. And I also am a board member of Air Media. I always have to remember to plug that one.
well, yeah. I guess I'll go next. Thank you guys so much for joining. And thank you, Wizpill. Not a bad way to spend a Tuesday, to be honest. That's what we think. We're excited. We're happy that you're here.
Yes.
For those of you who came in a little bit later, my name is Angela. I am the host of two newsletters. Why did I say it like that? I'm the writer of two newsletters. One of which is Please Hustle Responsibly, which is a community for creators who want to learn, connect, and grow their business. The other is Melanin MVP, which is for the women's sports fans and everyday athletes. So thank you guys so much for being here with us. We're excited to be back. We're excited to do something a little more chill on the next one for the summer, and excited to just help support you guys in whatever you guys are doing for the remainder of the year.
And the next one, bring a mocktail or a cocktail. It's gonna be that kind of conversation. Be chilled out. Uh Anywho, um hey everyone, my name is Michelle Jackson. I also run two projects. See how we all are multifaceted and multi-passionate. I'm gonna share the two that I have on this platform. So one is creators getting paid. What I do is I share the stories of creators, primarily Black and Brown creators, building online brands and the way that they monetize the work that they do. I like to be endlessly curious and pick really interesting people. So I'm very excited for the next set that I'm about to start pitching. I also run a personal finance brand called Your American Money. I like to talk about pop culture, policy, and polarization in that content. And I am geeking out about what I'm going to do for the podcast. Uh, you know, um, I haven't done it for a while, so I'll be releasing the podcast, the new season starting in September. So keep an eye out for that. But there is a Substack newsletter associated with that project. So just know that it is coming. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This geeked us out. If you could also do us a favor and share this again, we do appreciate it. By the heart in the right hand side with that little Pac-Man kind of situation, that's the share button. We do appreciate it helps us get in front of people. So thank you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day.
Should I say one more thing before we go? I just want to thank
Yes.
people who leave us comments on the lives
Yes.
or when they post. Um, like I saw a comment from back in May that I didn't even know we had, and it just showed that when you guys say these things that you say in the comment sections on the post when they go after we end the live, it just tells us that we're on the right path. So I know we really do appreciate it. We always get a chance to answer in real time, but when we do see it, it does help a lot with what we're doing. So thank you guys, and I want to encourage you guys to continue to do that.
What he's referencing is
Please.
that after we go live, this will be saved and published as its own post. You can go back and rewatch it or re-listen to it. If you missed some earlier parts of the conversation. So please feel free to do that. Please leave us comments. We do see them. We may see them late because I also didn't see that comment, but um, yeah, we appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the shares. It means a lot. So thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.